What is up, ladies and gents? Noli here. Welcome to another Payday video. This is day 5 of Crimefest 2015. Now, today's update is actually one I'm really pleased with. Two brand new additions, both of which were reasonably predictable but have been executed very nicely by Overkill, and of course are all available for free for you guys to play, and everyone can play it right now because Payday itself is free. So let's scroll on down and take a look at our new weapon, and as I guessed, it was something with pretty high capacity and pretty high fire rate. It is a new LMG. Being a small nation, Sweden is likely outnumbered in any battle, so it's important that a Swedish soldier with a single trigger squeeze can take out 10 to 20 enemy soldiers. Therefore, we introduce the KSP 58 Kulspruta, which of course translates into bullet sprayer, really summing up what you plan to be doing with this weapon. So let's move on down and take a look at it. More and more so, guys, now the difference between weapon is the aesthetics and feel, which I'm actually quite a fan of. And the KSP, you can already see in third person, it looks nice. But in first person, it really, really feels good. And that's something I'm a massive fan of. I really like this little screen that allows you to take a look at the KSP from any angle. The stats, however, are nothing particularly amazing, nothing that's going to blow the other LMGs out the water, which is, I suppose, good weapon balance. Mag size of 200 is pretty good for the class. Total ammo 400, but not bad, but not the best in class. Rate of fire 909, that's the same as another LMG in the class. The damage is good at 37. Accuracy and stability is certainly not bad for an LMG, but nothing to really write home about. Concealment is very low, and it means that this weapon can't be used in every single build. And also, for whatever reason, there's a waste attachment in that the short barrel gives you 2 more points of concealment. It's the only barrel attachment, and it's basically utterly useless. And finally, threat. Not something we normally go into great detail about, but pretty standard for the LMG class. I like the KSP overall. Obviously, I need a bit more time with this weapon, but let it be known that LMGs have, in and of themselves, received a pretty big and interesting buff down here. So the second thing we guessed that may be LMG orientated is the addition of a bipod, and that is exactly what we've got. What we did not guess is exactly how it would work. And I am a massive fan of the way this has been implemented, so hold your ground. Sacrifice mobility to gain more power. When deploying the bipod, the LMG has almost no recoil and very high accuracy, making it the perfect tool for covering your team and defending a position. This is great. I had a feeling that the addition of the bipod may just allow LMGs to aim down sight, very much like the mod that has existed on Last Bullet for a little while does. However, that is not what Overkill decided to do. That probably would have been the lazy option. Give them their due on this one. Overkill has sort of a more inventive, thematic and functional way to produce a nice little buff to the LMGs. I say a little buff, it's actually pretty big. And it makes you play and adhere to the playstyle a lot more than the any other change could make. Now, don't forget, LMGs right now are really strong weapons on paper. They were heavily held back by the inability to properly aim down sight and the movement penalty. Well, the movement penalty is gone, and so basically the aim down sight issue has also faded. However, there is, it's a toss-up. You are sacrificing mobility in the long run, as you can see in some of these images down here. So here's the bipod modification, like we guessed, with the slingshot. So it can be used with any LMG in the game, which doesn't really come as a surprise. And as you can see in this rather interesting screenshot, some of you might know why it's interesting. We have Keep It Steady. The bipod only applies stats to the weapon it's attached to when it's deployed, meaning you don't gain any benefit from the modification when it isn't deployed, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see from it, really nicely implemented. And there you can see it in work. It makes your bullets fly very, very straight, and recoil is no longer existent, which means when it comes to holding down areas on some missions, LMGs will probably straight up be the best weapons. I believe you must have to crouch with it as well, as you can see here. So it means you can't really sit behind cover with the LMG. However, that's something that's going to require a little more testing and usage on my end. But But no, I'm a massive fan of this bipod change. You know, it's not a direct buff to the LMG. I suppose in some ways it is, but you know, it comes with its drawback in massively reducing your mobility and making you into a walking turret, which the LMG is kind of all about, if we're honest. It makes the weapon much more viable, and means that, you know, you can have your heavy weapon specialist now. And overall, I think the rebalance has done that a lot. It's made the heavy weapons feel heavier, except for maybe the minigun. For whatever reason, you seem to run at the speed of light with that. But ignore that. It's made the SMGs feel like proper bullet sprayers. It's made the pistols maybe have a little bit too much impact. But even the assault rifles, it feels like you're going into battle properly loaded, and all the weapons have, in my opinion, been a real joy to use since their changes. So I'm a big fan of the bipod modification. The new LMG is pretty nice and definitely worth a try, especially with this bipod. I really, implore everyone to give the LMGs a go now. Set up a build, make yourself into the heavy weapons guy, and have a load of fun, because the playstyle is pretty exciting. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all in tomorrow's episode.